I have been hearing this story getting talked about a lot behind the scenes, and I've thought about looking into it. I've thought about covering it, but it just seemed like another one of those things that I don't want to just cover breaking news nonstop, but it appears that this story has had such an impact on the political discourse now, it's not going to just fade into the cultural memory. It is going to be repetitively brought up and made an example of for probably decades now. Very similar to the killing of George Floyd. Not that this is a analogous situation insofar as what actually happened, but in terms of the impact it's had on the political landscape and how people are going to be talking about it forever, I feel it's important that we fill in any gaps in our knowledge. You see, a while ago, there was an altercation between two teenagers. One of them was Karmelo Anthony, a name you've probably heard quite a bit. Their altercation, their fight, which was physical, just hands, hands and feet to start with, eventually escalated when Karmelo Anthony pulled out a blade and stabbed to death his opponent, his fight opponent. Now, I've got nothing against two teenagers fighting. It happens. I've taken part in fights, and I have seen fights. And as far as the school system is concerned, watching a fight is as bad as taking part in it. They stressed that a lot when I was in middle school, because we had a lot of fights at my middle school. But pulling out a blade and killing another student, killing another teenager, it's pretty fucked up. Now, on its surface, I look at this story, and I'm immediately like, okay, so what's the controversy? Kid stabbed another kid? That's murder. Maybe not like first-degree murder. It wasn't premeditated or anything, at least from what I can tell. I haven't seen any details that suggest it was. But it was at the very least murder. It was some kind of murder. Though, apparently this has started discourse. And a lot of it seems to go back to Karmelo Anthony's family. So, there's a lot to discuss here. This has sparked a lot of racial debate. There's been a lot of discussion about whether or not he had a fair trial. But let's start with the news of the murder conviction. He has now been convicted of murder and has tried to appeal it, which is the newest news coming out of his legal battle. So I thought we'd go ahead and take a look, as this is no doubt going to catch us up on things a little bit.
Breaking moments ago, Texas teen Karmelo Anthony plans to appeal his murder conviction in the stabbing death of Austin Metcalf at a high school track meet last year when they were both 17 years old. The jury sentenced him to 35 years in prison. Metcalf's father, Jeff, giving an emotional victim impact statement during the sentencing hearing. Quote, "The public response sickens me, especially when a gag order doesn't allow me to defend my son. This was never about race or politics, but what you did was to choose to make it about both. We all bleed the same color. You are free to make choices all your life, but you are not free to not face consequences."
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, or what I've heard so far, it really is looking like the parents of Karmelo Anthony are trying to pull the race card in a really shameless way in order to garner sympathy, attention, and maybe to even try to put pressure on the court system to go easy on their son, who absolutely murdered a kid. Like, absolutely murdered a kid. Don't be stupid. Well, I mean, it is Fox News. They could be lying about some of the details here, but I'm not just pulling what info I know from Fox News. From what I've seen, the parents have been a little bit odd.
Correspondent Brooke Taylor reporting live from McKinney, Texas, with the latest. Hi, Brooke.
Hi, Martha. We just got word that Anthony's legal team has filed that notice of appeal, but just seconds ago, we wrapped up an interview with the district attorney and the lead prosecutor on the case.
Fox News alert! Sorry, I couldn't help it.
To tell you, they are extremely confident with the verdict here. There was no cameras in the courtroom, so it's our first time really hearing from them. Take a listen to what they told me their reaction was.
Just relief that 12 members of our community, the jurors, saw it the same way we did, that this was murder, plain and simple. And then they saw punishment like we saw it, that he needed a lengthy prison sentence.
I was relieved. I thought it would be murder, but until you hear it, of course, a jury can do whatever they want as long as they're following the law. So I was relieved for the family, mostly.
I wish we could watch this news coverage from any other source that isn't Fox News or Right Wing. Okay, so chat, I gotta break some news to you guys that, I don't know if you guys know this, but like CNN and like there are no left-leaning news sources anymore, but in the mainstream, besides like MSNBC, I guess Al Jazeera, BBC's kind of left-leaning. But as far as the mainstream now, right-wing billionaire owns CNN now. Like a Trumper owns CNN. Like it's there's no mainstream alternative that isn't just Fox News, but with a coat of blue paint. And I mean that literally. Like it's literally just the Republican elephant with a coat of blue paint on it. Not even like run by moderate Democrats. It's run by MAGA. So I get where you're coming from, but if we were watching a segment from CNN, we would be hearing the same thing. They're run by the same people now. Like you have to go to alternative, online, grassroots people to get non-right-wing news sources now. They've bought out everything.
And the jury sentenced Karmelo Anthony to 35 years behind bars for fatally stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf during a high school track meet. Both the DA and lead prosecutor told me they were satisfied with this sentence, even though Anthony faced up to 99 years behind bars. They also said that they were prepared for Anthony to take the stand, and they hoped that he would. Now, I asked what they believed the strongest piece of evidence here was. They both pointed to the surveillance footage. Despite being grainy and shot across the field, they said it reinforced their argument that Anthony wasn't surrounded, and this was a one-on-one confrontation, despite the defense's self-defense claim. Now, the lead prosecutor told me the national spotlight, it definitely added pressure, but he said they had to tune out that noise, and some of that noise played out in the courtroom. Martha, he told me that race was certainly not a factor, and have people actually pay attention closely to this case and hear what the witnesses had to say, they would know that.
Brooke Taylor, thank you.
Okay, with the virtue signal. We get it. It wasn't a racially motivated attack. But here's the thing with the parents, though. It seems like a lot of the reason why race is being brought up at all here is because of the parents. And I've got a segment here that features them on CBS Mornings. I believe this is the mom and dad with the shirt that says "Believe Karmelo." So this seems to be where a lot of the discourse is coming from, is the arguments made by the parents. And on one hand, it's like, well, parents are going to advocate for their child, of course. But on the other hand, it's like, guys, I think y'all know he did it. I think you know he did it. And this is a little bit shameless, I'm not going to lie. There is a dead teenager that isn't your son. There's a couple of parents who lost their son forever. You did not lose your son. This is a little shameless with that in mind.
This morning, we have an exclusive interview with the parents of a Texas teenager sentenced this week to 35 years in prison for killing a fellow high school athlete. On Tuesday, a jury found 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony guilty of murdering 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. His lawyers plan to appeal. They say prosecutors wrongly excluded black people from the jury. Anthony's parents spoke with Jonah Kaplan about their son, the trial, and their message to the Metcalf family.
My son didn't intend to hurt anyone. My son was defending himself.
It took less than 3 hours for a jury to reject 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony's claims of self-defense in the stabbing death of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. Prosecutors argued Anthony intentionally killed Metcalf after being taunted and shoved by Metcalf and his teammates at a high school track meet.
Take us inside that courtroom.
I feel like this is this is a death knell for woke 1.0. Like the old woke. Like you've got so many people coming out to like argue in defense of this kid who on video just murdered another kid he's in a fight with. It was not racially motivated at all, the fight to begin with. There was no like defense against a hate crime, no evidence of that. But the race card's being pulled nonetheless, just for the sake of sympathy, like very, very disingenuously, and it's being blown up onto the national stage. Like, this is the kind of thing that Woke 2 needs to leave behind. Like, stuff like backing stories like this. Like, people pretending like they don't know that this is insane. Like, this is not the kind of person that the left should be throwing their support behind to be like, this is an instance of disproportionate racist policing or whatever. Now, I'm sure there are examples of white kids doing the same thing and getting a less harsh sentence, but those white kids should probably just be getting more harsh sentences. I don't think the answer is that Karmelo Anthony should have a less harsh sentence to match the privilege of those white kids. The privilege itself is the problem. More privilege isn't the answer.
What stuck out to you?
What stuck out to me, number one, was the all-white jury. But I was trying to be, like, all right, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, the truth is on our side.
At the sentencing hearing, the defense called only one witness on Anthony's behalf, his mother, Kayla Hayes.
I mean, I don't think the all-white jury has anything to do with it. Do they do that? Is there like any kind of like race equality, like a DEI system for juries? Is that a thing? I get that this happened in a really white area, so like when they pulled for people to go on the jury, it just kind of makes sense that it would be all white people. There's a pretty high chance that it would end up being that. Do they have any systems for like ensuring juries have at least like say 1 or 2 black people on it, for instance? Like, is that a thing? Probably not.
Did you tell the jury?
To have mercy on my son.
What do you say to his grieving family?
It was not an entirely white jury. Wow. Are they actually lying about that? Hold on. Let's Google it. Actually, research segment. Let's find out. Was Karmelo Anthony's jury all white? No, the jury in Karmelo Anthony's murder trial was not all white, though it did not include any black jurors. Media narratives and online rumors initially spread claims of an all-white jury, sparking widespread social media debate. However, court records and trial details confirmed that the 12-person panel was racially diverse. 8 white jurors, 3 Asian jurors, and 1 Middle Eastern juror. Are you telling me? Hold on, this guy saw a crowd with 3 Asians in it and was like, it was an all-white jury. Okay, you see what I mean now, right? When I say, like, the parents come off as, like, really shameless about this. Like, they're pulling the race card in the most, like, fuck everybody, this is just about us kind of way possible. Like, they don't give a shit about these issues. They're just pulling the race card for their own benefit.
It's unfortunate to where nobody wins. We've all been hurt by this. Everybody.
That poor boy is fixing to experience a life that I would not wish upon anyone.
Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff, called Anthony's sentencing bittersweet.
What it boils down to for me is this. Austin will never walk through that door again and never give me a hug.
The case drew national attention, prompting protests in support of both teens. And both families involved say they've received threats.
This morning, I've had multiple emails, texts, threatening me, calling me all sorts of names.
During our interview, the Anthonys made a point to call back one man they say continues to dox them.
Why are you calling me, man?
To make fun of you.
Both families urge supporters to
Both families are getting death threats and racist attacks. They basically become like the family of the kid who died has basically become unwanted. They don't want it, but they basically involuntarily become like the symbol of like the whites in the race war of this issue, while this family has seemingly voluntarily decided to become like the representatives of like the black side of this race war issue. Like it's literally like an all white versus all black crowd at these protests that we're seeing here. Like, I have genuinely never seen a more racially divisive issue. Like, genuinely. I am so glad I am not there.
Tame their emotions.
I'm so glad that I'm at home watching this on the computer.
But people need to understand about forgiveness. Forgiveness was not for him. Forgiveness was for me, so I don't carry the rage, the hate, and that around. It will eat me up like cancer.
At the end of the day, there's nothing we can say or do for people to accept us.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Jonah Kaplan in McKinney, Texas.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, listen, I'm not... You guys know how woke I am. You guys know how giga woke I am. But it really is just... It's tough. It's tough with a story like this, where it really just seems like the left's goodwill and charitability is being kind of weaponized by bad actors for the sake of sympathy and money and to try and get their son out of trouble that he should frankly have to face the music on. He killed it. I don't care if you're 17. If you kill another 17-year-old, that's a pretty serious thing you just did. You just killed a kid. Kids sometimes kill kids, and it should be treated as the serious crime that it is. It's fucked up, and it's horrifying, and it's one of those things that we like to pretend never happens. But when the issue comes up, we have to be mature enough to be able to talk about it, because these are real problems, both rhetorically, as far as our movement and figuring out what to get behind, what movements to support, and insofar as understanding how these dynamics happen, how these stories blow up, and how they get weaponized for any given side's political agenda. Anyway, though, if you enjoyed this segment, leave a like, subscribe to see more from me. Follow my social medias linked down below if you want to see more from me on other platforms, and if you want to go the extra mile to support the channel, consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, or doing the same on YouTube. And don't forget to comment something down below as well. Super duper helps, and every like makes a chud, shit blood. Never forget. Anyway though, thank you for watching.